Yeah, wow, it's impossible for me to tell my story without getting severely, severely triggered. I'm severely traumatized by by medical and by doctors. We have to stop, this blanket across the board belief that doctors can't make mistakes. We have to stop doing that. We have to stop. We have to start giving patients the benefit of the doubt, and we have to start providing patients with advocacy because what happened to me for 45 years is unbelievable. Unbelievable. If you're a doctor, to be fair, if you're a doctor and you've got this woman coming in and you meet her for the first time, okay, well, you've read all the crap about her in her medical records, and that's not fair. That doctors, you get a referral to a new doctor, and this new doctor reads all this inaccurate information about you in your medical records that other doctors have who've misdiagnosed you, have written about you in your medical record. That is so unfair, and it sets a patient up to be misdiagnosed over and over and over again. It's so unfair for doctors to read all these negative and inaccurate records about you before you walk through the door. So let's say to be fair, let's say you're a doctor, you read all this negative stuff about this patient. They're delusional, they're on all these sleeping pills, they're on a couple psych drugs, and then they come in. So she walks in and she's desperate. She's claiming she's severely sleep deprived, and she's claiming that all these other doctors in the community that and that you've worked with for years is misdiagnosing you. So what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe this woman who claims she's being misdiagnosed and she's on all these drugs? Or are you going to believe 15 different doctors and specialists in your community that you've worked with for years? Who are you going to believe? This woman who's drugged up and confused and claims that she slept 2 hours last night and she's wild-eyed and she looks like she's out of her mind? To be fair, how would any of these doctors have enough discernment to think? Most people don't have super high discernment. Most people are influenced by things. So for me to find a doctor in my community who's independent thinking enough to think that I might be right was like winning the lottery, right? So I was in acute benzodiazepine withdrawal. Just, if you're a benzo, from the benzo community, or the medication injury community, and you've been out of your mind in acute medication withdrawal, literally fighting for your life. I'm in a crisis, like, pardon me. Now I'm literally sleeping 1 or 2 hours a night or not at all, and I'm so ill that I'm stopping breathing nonstop at night. I'm so ill that I'm stopping breathing during the day. If I'm relaxed and watching TV, I'm stopping breathing. Blood pressure through the roof, tongue paralysis. I can't feel my hands and feet. The nerve damage is happening everywhere. All my joints are under attack. Blood pressure through the roof. Low heart rate. My heart rate's going so low asleep. 18 beats per minute, 29 beats per minute. That's with hospital equipment. 18 beats per minute. That's with medical equipment owned by a medical company, not my equipment. I'm falling down from nerve damage. I'm falling from dropped foot. I'm suffering from my oxygen is going down to 70 at times during the day. I'm in absolute medical crisis. I'm calling ambulances. I'm calling my new doctor at home. I'm going to the hospital, to the ER. Nobody knows how to help. I'm sure, half of these doctors could not recognize acute benzodiazepine withdrawal or acute Zopiclone withdrawal. Those that did, pretended that they didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew how to help me. I fought and fought to get into the sleep lab. They didn't want to, it took several doctors to actually send a referral because nobody believed that I had severe sleep apnea. Got to the sleep doctor. The sleep doctor didn't believe that I had severe sleep apnea. Waited another 9 months. After I saw the sleep doctor, I waited 4 months begging and screaming for my life. Severe sleep apnea. Took 8 months literally begging and screaming to get into the sleep lab. Got into the sleep lab. Severe sleep apnea. My oxygen was dropping to the low 70s. Stopping breathing nonstop. Fighting for my life. Extreme low drive to breathe. I could barely stand. I could barely walk at that sleep study. I believe I was in respiratory failure, and I was sent home in crisis. And I came home with a CPAP. I was stopping breathing with the CPAP. Had the CPAP on at night. I'm awake, and I'm stopping breathing with the CPAP. Fought and fought for my life to get into the hospital. Fought and fought for health care. No one wanted to do anything to do with this. I don't think they knew what to do. Like my system was shutting down. Fought and fought. It's by the grace of God that I'm here, and by the grace of strangers on the internet who kept me going. People like you. People who were willing to message me and talk to me and help me troubleshoot, and fought and fought for years to survive this. The CPAP hurt my face right from the word go. My head was so inflamed, I was brain injured. I lost my taste and smell. I had pseudobulbar affect, tongue paralysis, nerve damage, orthopnea, couldn't breathe laying down. My lungs were collapsing. I was brain injured. My head was swollen. My whole entire head was painful, and I could not even go like this. I was in so much pain and inflammation, every joint, my entire head, my face. I'm being threatened by doctors. I'm being refused care by doctors. I'm being fired by doctors. I'm being threatened by doctors. Guess what kind of narrative exists in my medical records? Was it my fault, any of this? So CPAP was a nightmare from the word go. CPAP causing severe pain in my open, raw sinuses, suicidal pain. The CPAP with the empty nose syndrome and the maxillary anastrostomies, the sinuses cut wide open, suicidal pain. Almost 7 years of excruciating pain, just blinding pain. Pain with the bones in my face, pains in my teeth, upper and lower, loss of teeth, surgically removed because of CPAP. And then the CPAP, it took me years to figure this out, moving my jaw further back and making me struggle to breathe even more with my narrow airway. Finally, just weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, I stopped CPAP. I can't do it anymore. The pain and the trigeminal nerves, trigeminal neuralgia. The nerves in here are still raw, and I stopped CPAP 3 or 4 weeks ago. The nerves are all still just so painful and raw in my face from the CPAP. It's not because the CPAP was too tight. It's not because I needed a different mask. But also I have nerve compression syndromes in other areas of my body from the benzo damage. So I stopped the CPAP, and because I just can't take it anymore. I stopped the CPAP at the risk of losing my life. That's how bad the pain on my trigeminal nerves and in the sinuses. That's how bad, and my teeth. That's how bad the pain is that the CPAP causes me. And I can't fall asleep because my throat is closing awake. So finally, I made this device. How long have I been sleeping with this? A week and a half, 2 weeks. I made this device to move my jaw forward, and it's actually showing promise. This is actually helping me, move my jaw forward and open my airway. So this is a homemade one. It broke. I need one made professionally by a dentist. So this is where we're at today. I've solved almost all of this. Sleep apnea was being misdiagnosed. The respiratory depression, the lack of drive to breathe, the sleepwalking solved, the sleep eating solved, and the narrow airway partially solved. I fought for a trach for a couple of years. They didn't want to do a trach. I saw a surgeon about jaw surgery. They didn't want to do it until I got an oral device, and I haven't had the money to pay a professional to do an oral device, a couple $1,000, $2,600. So this is where we're at now. I've solved. This is not where we're at now. This is where I'm at now. A lot of doctors are angry about the truth of my story. They don't like my story. You know what? I don't like it either. "45 years it took. I think I will begin to learn to sleep again with this. I'm starting to get some quality sleep. I think my brain will, once I learn that I'm safe again, I have hope for a professional oral device that I think this is going to be the ticket for me. I still am having low oxygen at night. I don't know what to do about that. I don't qualify for home oxygen. This has been my 45-year journey to get help for sleep. I'm severely traumatized. I've lost almost everything. I've lost almost everything in my life because of this. I regained my memory. I regained my intelligence. But I've lost almost everything. My health. I have severe nerve damage. In a quest to get help for my sleep.